The reason why I ask you is because I have wanted to develop a character for the books that I have, but
Oh,
that character, the idea is that it has a personality. And obviously, when you have a personality, the character must have various emotions, various feelings, various characteristics. It must be in different settings. For example,
yes.
imagine Mickey Mouse. Well, in one cartoon, you see him laughing. In another one, he might be angry. In another one, he might be excited. He might be curious.
Yes, yes.
So, the idea of having a character representing a company
Uh-huh.
would be feel possible to have that character in different situations.
Yes.
Reading, studying, playing, painting, drawing. In one situation, he's very happy. In another one, he's amused. In another one, he's tired. In another situation, so you have the technical capability of doing that, Mitch.
Yes, actually, Amy, right now, well, some minutes ago, I was illustrating the pet again. She wants to me to more emotes. Look. This, you can see it?
That's fabulous.
This is
Let me see.
it.
Let me see. Wait,
I
wait a
may
second.
I made him. It's like a kind of alien. The enterprise is named Gasback, and right now I was making more emotes, but it is still on a sketch.
That's fantastic. Wow, that's amazing. Can you? Of course, in this case, look at that. The same character is laughing and very happy on the right hand side, and on the left one is he's upset.
Yes.
That's fabulous. That's amazing. So you really can do this work. Oh, this is fabulous.
Yes. Yes.
Very,
Thank you.
very amazing. It's incredible. And you can do this with your software. Obviously, you require to have a lot of talent, and that's how you do it.
Yes, more than talent, I could say technique.
Well, it's technique also, but the technique, I mean, Da Vinci had technique,
Oh
Michelangelo
well,
had
yeah.
technique, but they also had talent. I think they go hand in hand. You cannot say this person has talent but has no technique, or the opposite is also impossible. You have both of them, I think. Incredible.
Thank you.
Well, yeah, wow. This is fantastic. Aside the class, I will ask you to give me, please, a quotation, which is a presupuesto, how it would take to do a character for the school with a person in different situations,
Could be
and
great.
would be amazing. Yeah, to illustrate the books, because I have now 8 books, English books for the academy. Plus, I'm doing another one, and
Oh.
the books are, well, yeah, but they are still incomplete. For example, I want to add a character that
Mhm.
represents the school. It can be a cartoon or caricature of myself or one of my daughters,
Mhm.
and this character will be in all the books. In one case, will be explaining. In another one, will be giving a hint, teaching the vocabulary, etc.
Could be
So,
amazing. Sounds
yeah,
amazing.
yeah. Maybe, for example, I can send you a picture of myself or a picture of Minerva, my daughter, or Sophia, and maybe if you can make a small cartoon out of the picture, but this
Mhm.
cartoon in different situations, right?
Yes,
That'd
yes.
be absolutely amazing. This is great art, Mitch. How long did it take you to learn all this?
I start at third secondary until now.
Third degree, third degree of secondary school.
Yes.
But you do this with such facility, and it's amazing. You're doing the neck, the sleeves, and then how do you make the? For example, this guy. At first, he was happy. In the left hand side, he was a bit annoyed or angry.
Mhm.
How do you do that? For example, if I
Well,
ask you to,
uh-huh.
how would you make the same character? But let's say that he's astonished. He sees something surprising and, oh, he sees something unexpected. He's surprised because he found something, a tiger at home or a present, an unexpected person. How do you do that?
Well, I think it's most of it observing the real life. I could see someone who is mad, who's happy, sad, fearing, etc. And I could translate that into a cartoon. It's just referencing that with a actual human or dogs.
Yeah. But technically speaking, yeah. But let's say technically speaking, for example, let's suppose that you take a picture of Mickey, right? You
Okay.
take a picture of him, and then you make a cartoon of him, very serious, very professional, like trying to make international sales, right?
Yes.
And you want to make a cartoon of him, uh, and then he would use that cartoon like a promotional, right, of him
Uh huh.
doing his business. How long would it take you?
Mm, depends of the details. For example, I've been made in
Okay.
this with no so many details. It's pretty fast, but like I don't know, 30 minutes. But something more realistic, it could take hours.
Of course, of course. It's impressive. Just this, the way to see you working is amazing. Oh, these lines that you have, vertical line, the ones that make the cross here in the face, there
Yes.
is like a technique or a pattern to make. Yes, those exactly. Is there a way for you to guide yourself and say, okay, if I want to make a smiley face, I need to do this. If I want to make an angry face, like in the left one, you do this or that. Do you
Yes,
have like a
actually,
specific?
sorry.
Yeah, go
Sorry,
ahead.
sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I remember that
Yes, go
actually
ahead.
here in one class we see this subject that I already know, but remember there is the cross, and in upside there is the eyes in the both lines that choke the cross is the nose, and then is the mouth, and the height of the eyes. It could be in this case, the ear, things like that.
Right. It's amazing. Well, now I am greedy. Greedy is like avaricioso, right? Ambitious. I'd like to have like a character like this, but maybe with a character of the school. Let me say hello to Mickey because I think
Yes.
he is joining us. Mickey, hello. How are you?
Hi, teacher.
Can you hear
I'm good,
me?
thank you. Yes, I just had a little issue before. Sorry for the delay.
Don't worry. We were talking actually a little bit about you. I was asking Mitch, what if she made a drawing of myself so that I could illustrate my books, my English books, or if she made a cartoon of you in which the cartoon is referring to moments or a cartoon of others. It's just impressive the way how Mitch works. She has been showing me how she works with the illustration of characters. It's impressive how well,
Yeah.
how masterfully she handles this application, this program. And of course, it's not only the handling the program, it's having the
Hmm.
technique, the talent to put in paper or in a slide the characteristics of people, the harmony. It's incredible. I'm just impressed to see how she was working doing those. You have seen that, of course, haven't you?
Yes, yeah, of course. She is so talented. Hmm.
Hmm, thank you.
And how are
Yeah.
you, teacher?
Well, fine. Thank you very much. I went to Jean Piaget. I went to my training session. And obviously, it's always interesting because I think about all these people, which I would like to talk to you about, and their contributions to education, to learning, is a fantastic topic. It's very dynamic. And when you start to break down all the contributions these people have made to learning, to education, to the understanding of how people learn, you get you can only admire all the things that they have done uh, in the research for the benefit of people, of course. So
Mhm.
let's begin a little bit with this topic, if you would. Who of these people do you know and you have heard of? I'm sure at least one or two, if not more.
Um, well, I heard
Mm,
about Piaget, Jean Piaget, and Montessori.
Montessori. Okay. What do you know about them? About them? Do you know any of them, Mitch?
not really. I heard about Piaget, but I don't really know.
Not much. Okay. Let's do a little research about them. What do you know about Piaget, Mickey?
Um, I think that Jean Piaget was a psychologist, right?
Yeah, it's correct. French psychologist and a pedagogue as well. Okay, so they were all psychologists and
Um,
pedagogue. Yes,
yeah, I think that he creates a theory about. I'm not sure, but the way in how children learn, or the way in how they develop their their skills and all that stuff. Something
absolutely.
like that.
Yes,
I'm not sure.
absolutely. Yes, 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 of course. And same for the others. They all contributed in different aspects on the way how people learn, basically. And the idea of these people is to make learning more complete, more meaningful. All of them use the word meaningful, right? Meaningful
Hmm.
learning, something that is useful for you to apply, right? Mitch is learning the techniques of drawing, of design, of art, how to represent the body moving or still without movement, with emotions, and she's transforming that into emoticons and different, and that has a practical application immediately. You have learned how to make transactions in a domestic, national, and international setting, learning the laws, the regulations, the constraints, the possibilities, the challenges. That is
Hmm.
all very meaningful. It means a lot, right?
Yeah.
So these people have contributed significantly to the learning process. So let's do a little research about them. Um, would you like to find out something about Piaget, Mickey, and maybe Mitch? You would find out something about Vygotsky or Montessori, please,
Okay.
and then I look up for
Mm, here it is.
probably the
Yeah.
contributions to, yes, Mitch.
Mm, no, wait.
I found information of Jean Piaget.
Ah, yes, please, Mickey. What did you find about him?
Mm, if you want, I could share the screen.
Yes, please. Let me stop sharing here. I'll start sharing yours. Mickey.
Can you see it?
There. Okay. Jean-Pierre biography. It's more or less current. Wow. Let's find the most relevant information here. What do you think is relevant about the biography of a person like Piaget?
Mm, here is the Piaget's career and theories.
Okay. What does it say?
Piaget's career and theories. Piaget had several ideas or theories about cognitive development throughout his career. intellectual development, Piaget developed an interest in psychoanalysis and spent a year working at a boys' institution created by Alfred Binet. Binet is known as the developer of the world's first intelligence test, and Piaget took part in scoring these assessments.
Okay.
Continue?
Yes, please. Yeah, we want to find out the most relevant information about him. So he talks about, well, here's what you were saying, Nikki, his contributions to psychology. What do you find there that is interesting?
Yes, Piaget contributed to psychology in various ways. He provided support for the idea that children think differently than adults, and his research identified several important milestones in the mental development of children. His work also generated interest in cognitive and developmental psychology.
Okay. What does it say about the principal goal of education? That sounds interesting.
Piaget's theories are widely studied today by students of both psychology and education. In the case of the latter, he emphasized the principal goal of education in the schools should be creating men and women who are capable of doing new things, not simply repeating what other generations have done.
Wow, that's a strong change in the way people think and used to think, Remy.
Yeah,
So he wanted the children to learn to do new things, not just repeating what other generations, what previous generations had always been doing. Let's see if you agree with this short summary. Let's see. I'm going to share the screen and I'll come
yes,
back to yours for a second, please. So let me share for a moment. And okay, so I'm going to show you said, and let's see if you agree with this. Can you read it?
me.
Yes, please, Mickey.
Um, they wanted for children to learn. He wanted for children to learn to do new things, not just repeating what previous generations had always been doing. Yeah, I completely agree.
Okay. Where have you seen this, Rad?
Could you repeat it? I couldn't hear you.
Where have you noticed where this difference? Where have you seen?
Mhm.
uh, what is the evidence? Where is the evidence of this advance of this progress?
Sorry, teacher. I don't know if it's my internet, but I can't hear you.
Okay, well, let's see. Can you hear me now much better, Mickey? Or is it the same? I don't know if you
And
can
now I
hear
can
me.
hear you
Can
better.
you hear me, Mitch?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes, now
okay.
I can hear you, teacher.
Okay, brilliant. Well, what Mickey was reading and saying, he made a summary, and we came to the conclusion that Piaget wanted for children to learn to do new things, not just repeat what previous generations had always done or had always been doing. Um, okay, let's find out about Montessori. Mitch, can you find out something about
Montessori.
Montessori, what her contribution was? Yes, please. Can you?
Oh, I was founded about Lev Vygotsky.
Oh, Vygotsky. Okay, tell us about Vygotsky, please.
Oh,
You can maybe share the screen.
kind of, yes, better. You can see it?
Yes, please. Let's see. Okay, here. All right. Very nice.
Okay.
Excellent.
Well, he was a psychologist, uh, known for his work on psychological development on children. He published on a diverse range of subjects and from multiple views, and his perspective changed over the years. Among his students was Alexander Luria. Okay. He's known for his concept of the zone of proximal develop, more known as ZPD, the distance between what the students, apprentice, employee can do on their own and what they can accomplish with the support of someone more knowledgeable about the activity.
Interesting. Okay. What would be interesting to know about him? Maybe his works, his achievements. If you were to find something relevant about his work, what would you look for? What would you say about him? Lev Vygotsky.
He implements some, I don't know how to say this, some helps to the children about the psychology in their faces.
Okay. All right. Very good. Psychological development in children. Um, okay. What else? There's something below in the index that says works. I think you showed something in the index where it says contents a little bit below, Mitch, where it says works.
Okay.
It's in the
Also
index.
influential is also influential are his works.
Yes, between the language and thought. Okay, let's publish that. It says, well, if you can read it, please. That's really interesting.
Where?
Which was also influential artists on the relationship.
Ah, also influential
The
are his
last
works
paragraph
on
of the
the
page.
relationship between language and thought, the development of language, and a general theory of development through action and relationship is in a sociocultural environment. This can be found in many of his essays.
Okay, so language can take different aspects in different sociocultural environments. So let me put as a summary here, Mitch. I'm gonna share my screen a little bit, and then we come back to your presentation and Mickey's presentation in a moment, please. So let me go back to my presentation, uh, and let's see if you agree with this contribution. So Vygotsky developed a system in which um, sociocultural sociocultural in which you thought in which your thoughts were adapted in a sociocultural environment. In other words, if I understand correctly, you're gonna think in a way in one sociocultural environment, but if you change your environment, you're gonna be influenced and you're gonna influence the environment as well in a different way. In other words, if you go to Instituto, you're of course we have our set of values, but it's going to be different than if you go to another school because the sociocultural environment in which you develop, in which you function, in which you work, in which you study is going to be different. So the influence, the mutual reciprocal influence is going to be different depending on the sociocultural environment in which you are. What do you think of this, Mickey?
Mm, yeah, I think that it's so important and it has a big relation between the social cultural environment. and the consequences that brings to you in being part of a certain social cultural environment.
You mentioned a very important word, consequences. And I like that because it's truly what happens, right? What are the consequences, Mitch, of you studying what you are studying, practicing what you're studying, starting to work as you are starting to work, um, as connected with studying in the school in which you study, which is Instituto, right? So,
Hmm.
which are the consequences of studying there and not in another school? It could be the University of Guanajuato or anywhere. What are the
Hmm.
consequences you think?
Uh, get knowledge to apply them in your future quotidian life. Maybe
Absolutely, right?
get knowledge.
Get knowledge, yeah, but of course, the type of knowledge, the type of connections, relationships that you have are totally different than if you were in another school. And I don't want to say better or worse, just simply different for because it's a different sociocultural environment, which is truly interesting. Let's find out about the two other guys, please. Then let's look up Montessori and Carl Rogers. Which one do you want to look up, Nikki, please? Montessori or Carl Rogers, please?
Um, Montessori.
Montessori. Okay, let's look him up, please.
Careers.
Yes, Mitch, please.
Yeah,
Mm,
I found here the contributions of that Maria Montessori made to education.
Okay, what are those, Mickey, please?
Mm, I'm gonna share the screen.
Thank you very much. Okay, contributions.
Mm, yes, here. Contributions of Maria Montessori to the education system. Maria Montessori was a dedicated woman who aimed to modify the education system. She welcomed kids from the inner city of Rome to her classroom, and by implementing her teaching tactics, showed the world that this manner of teaching is the most effective in raising future successful children. And here are some ideas that she introduced to the world of education.
Okay.
Um, Child-friendly classrooms. Maria Montessori initiated the concept of having a child-size setting in her classroom, whether it's furniture or cosplay. Everything was everything was as per the children's size. Open classrooms. She also introduced the idea of open classrooms where children are free to roam around. They have access to different learning and play materials. Open classrooms promote socializing skills in children and also encourage them to listen to instructions and collaborate with each other and the teacher accordingly. Um, Individualized education for children. Maria Montessori believed that all children are individuals and have different working mindsets. Because of this, they should be treated individually. Students should be taught at a pace that is suited to them and the content that they can easily comprehend.
Okay.
Mm,
Concrete
concrete,
learning materials.
concrete learning materials. Maria Montessori initiated the idea of learning through hands-on learning materials. This method aims to introduce a new concept to the child through a concrete material. This way, the child gets a hands-on experience of what is being taught to him or her. The child's mind then shapes the idea and forms an abstraction.
Okay.
Continue?
Then programs. Yes, please. I think just two more from
Yeah.
social teaching tools.
Program instructions. Program instructions are also a method of teaching young minds a concept by following a series of steps and making use of various activities. The activities are designed to test the concept of the children and to rectify their mistakes. And
Okay.
teaching toys. Maria Montessori also made use of teaching boys in her classrooms to foster the creativity and growth of children. The toys are usually made of natural materials like wood and even rock, and they are such that they challenge the skills of the child.
Very nice. Thank you very much, Mickey. Appreciate it. Let me then summarize what you have just said, and let's make a summary together, please. I'm going
Mhm.
to put what the contributions from my. How would you summarize some contributions? I know that one of them was open classroom,
Yeah, open classroom, child-friendly classroom.
child-friendly classrooms. That's important too. Child-friendly classroom, child-friendly classrooms. Yes. What else?
uh, Individualized education for children.
Yes. Individualized education for children. Very nice. Um,
Concrete learning materials.
concrete learning materials. Right.
Mhm.
Concrete learning materials. Well, that's really, really interesting. Anything else? Well, that's it.
Program instructions and teaching toys.
Instructions and teaching toys. Perfect. This is really, really nice. And thank you, Mickey. Let's take a
Mhm.
look at the last one, which is Carl Rogers. Mitch, can you tell us something about him and his teachings,
Yes.
contributions?
I found this. Um, he applies some experimental learning. Was an influential American psychologist who, along with Abraham Maslow, founded the humanistic approach to psychology. He developed non-directive psychotherapy, also called client-centered therapy, and later the person-centered approach, reflecting his belief that his model applied to interactions between all people, not just therapist-client relations. Yes. Um, the experimental learning, Rogers made a significant contributions to the field of education. With his theory of experimental learning, he maintained that all human beings have a natural desire to learn. Therefore, failure to learn is not due to the person inability to learn, but rather to problems with the learning situation.
Okay. And then he talks about two learning categories, right?
Yeah, the cognitive, because it is the main
Co-
glass, which involves academic knowledge such as multiplication tables and experimental significant learning. Um, um,
which
and
is
the
applied knowledge.
mhm, and experimental to significant learning, which is applied knowledge such as how to repair a car. The key distinction is that experimental learning addresses the needs and wants of the learner and thus has the qualities of a personal involvement, self-initiation, self-evaluation, and long-lasting effects.
Okay. And well, he summarizes the experiential education by learning by doing, right? You learn how you think. A fabulous way of learning. So let's share my screen now, summarize what you have just said, and that I will do now. Share. Let's write a short summary here, Mitch, please. So Rogers talked about significant learning, right? Significant
Yes,
Learning. What else?
the cognitive.
Cognitive, cognitive learning. Significant learning was something practical, right? Practical knowledge.
Mhm.
And cognitive learning was meaningless.
Yes.
For example, learning the tables. Well, so what, right? Why? And that's what creates some resistance among students because it doesn't mean anything for them to learn how to multiply. It doesn't mean anything to them to learn many things in math. For example, algebra says, well, and so what? Why is this useful? They have no idea. And it's not always their problem. Sometimes it's the problem of the teacher who also don't know why the algebra is there, right? Because they don't have a practical knowledge either. So it is not only a problem of the students. Very often, it's also the problem of the teacher who doesn't know how to express the practical application of the problems. What do you think of all this, Mitch?
Mm, well, I think that there are different ways to learn something, and like Carl Rogers says, there is significant learning, that is the practical knowledge, um, is the knowledge that you get. I could define that with the learning that you get with experience, could be,
Okay, yes.
and the cognitive learning is the how can I define this? It's like the things that we learn, but that probably doesn't have so much sense, or I don't know how to define cognitive learning.
Maybe an immediate application. For example, you know the tables? 3
Uh-huh.
times 5, 15. 3 times 8, 24. 5
Uh-huh.
times 7, 35. What is the immediate application? Well, there is not immediate application. It's just cognitive. You know how to do something. For example, you go to the gym and the coach tells you, Mickey, you do these push-ups this way, right? You do these abs ab exercises this way. You say, well, or you go to karate lessons, right? And they show you the katas or the movements, and you say, what is the practical application? At the moment, you don't use it immediately, but you will eventually if there is a situation, or you go to the Mossad, right? You go to the Secret Service of Israel or Americans or the Russians, and they teach you some defense strategies. And you say, well, what is immediate application? Immediately, there is nothing. But eventually, if you find yourself in a difficult situation, you know how to escape from a difficult situation, how to take advantage of this, how to take advantage of that, how to use it in a practical setting, right? So
Hmm.
I would say it's non-immediate, non-immediate.
It's like a knowledge that you get that you can't use immediately.
Right.
Probably you must do something else to use it.
Exactly. Exactly. Yes.
Mm.
Right. Exactly. Very good definition. Well, these four researchers, what do you think of them, Mitch? What do you think of their teachings or their contributions to science, to psychology, to education?
Yeah, well, it is, I think, really help. They really help to the way that we teach to the children or people in general how to manage their emotions and situations in some different in all different environments or scenarios.
Okay. Do you think this is only applicable for young kids, or can adults also take advantage of this? And when I say adults, it's also adolescents, youths, young people. Mickey, Mitch,
No,
what do
for
you?
everyone.
Yeah.
It is for everyone, but I think there. start with children because they are the ones who don't know about how so much how the life actually works, and they want to orient orient and orient
Orient themselves. They don't know how
orient
to orient
orient
themselves.
themselves. Uh-huh. Yes.
Okay, okay, very good, excellent. Yes, Mickey, if you had to choose three of the most important concepts from these four people, which ones would you think are the most meaningful, the most insightful, the most useful? If you had to choose three or four concepts from here.
From those people.
Yes, yes, please. Yes, please. What would be the three most important concepts from these four
Uh,
people?
but for each one or in general?
No, in total. We have four people, three top concepts
Hmm.
from these four people.
The first one will be that the way in how we are learning is different from the past.
Okay, it's different from the past. Okay, that's an important concept. Thank you very much. A second concept, Mickey.
Mm, that our environment um could have positive or negative consequences in how we develop ourselves.
Well, that's incredibly important too. Can you say that again, please? The environment can have this or negative. It says, what else did you say?
Yes, the environment can have positive or negative consequences in the way in how we develop ourselves.
Very good. Excellent. Thanks. And the last one, Mickey, for you, please. And then I'm going to ask Mitch.
Hmm. Mm, could be that the best way to learn something is with experience, with our own experience.
The best way to learn is through experience. Very good. Excellent. I like that very much. Thank you very much, Mickey. Mitch, for you, which are the three most important concepts from these four researchers or educators or pedagogues?
um the ways of learning,
Okay.
the teaching development and techniques, and the program instructions.
Okay. Thank you, Mitch. Before I ask Mickey why, I would like to ask you, Mitch, why do you think these three concepts are important? And obviously, I agree with both you and Mickey. I have one which is slightly different, but I also want to listen to you first, Mitch. Mickey.
Me?
Why, yes, why are your three concepts, top concepts, so important, please?
um, the ways of learning. I think the three of them, I take them. It sounds for me a kind of similar because there were theories, there were the ideas, there were the already practice of these subjects and concepts, and they already know that they could really work for all the people, starting with the children. They already know that this works, and they continue apply them. And but if there's some technique or another way of learning that they could change, they will start that process of try and try uh, the learning again. and we apply them with the public.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Mitch. Let me ask the same question to Mickey, please. Mickey, you said that these your three concepts are very important. Why is that? What is the relevance to the current situation, please?
Yeah, I know that my three concepts are important because we use the theories and knowledge that those people brings to society in general, and what they showed us is that the way in how we learn is completely different, and we can learn different ways, not only in the traditional way. That obviously it is important the environment in where you uh, and where you are developing or your skills and your capabilities. And and yeah, the third one, I put that that is important to learn about our experience, and I think that is the best way to learn something. For example, uh, you learned that you mustn't touch the, I don't know, the, how do you say, I don't know, the flavor stone. I don't know how to say it.
You mustn't touch what?
Flavor stone is oh, what's the casserole? I don't know how to.
The pan, the hot pan,
Yeah,
the
the
pan
the hot pan, because uh,
burn
you can
yourself.
damage yourself. So
Yes.
until you do it, you're not gonna do it again because you learn about your own experience. So that's why I put that the best way to learn is throughout our own experience.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. And those are very important concepts for you, Mickey. Okay. Mitch mentioned that the ways of learning are different, and you said the same. What have you seen in older people, in your teachers, in older generation, how they learned, and why your generation has a huge advantage? Where do you see this? I mean, how can you, what is the evidence that the method in which your generation is learning has been much more productive, much more efficient, much better than in our previous generation, like mine, your parents, maybe your grandparents, etc.? Where is the evidence? Because I'm sure that is there. What would the
Mm,
evidence be, Mitch? Mickey?
I don't know if that is actually true, but I think the technology and the global access to the internet really helped to everyone. Um, yeah, maybe it could reflected by the actual statistics, but I don't know if it is more productive than the past generations.
You don't know?
Well, probably yes, but I'm not certain. Sure.
Oh, okay. Okay. What do you think, Nikki? Do you think the way your generation learned or is learning each is faster, better, more efficient, more productive, and more fun than it used to be a generation ago, like in your parents and my generation? What do you think about that concept?
Well, I would say that now there are like more advantages than in the past, rather than in the past. Because, for example, I know that before, um, if you wanted to learn or to study something, probably you needed to go to the library, and now only with your cell phone, you just search it in Google, and you can find a lot of information and of different um, websites and pages and articles. Articles, and I will say that now there are more advantages. For example, our English class is um, by online using internet, and probably in the past that would be something that never imagined. So I would say that now in the actuality we can have more advantages, but It's necessary that the people use in a correct way, because probably for the same reason we are a little bit more lazy and uh, in comparison with the students in the past.
Yeah, and let me reveal you a little secret, which I tell my students and they don't believe me, and I'm not joking. I'm serious. The first book that I bought in university, I
Hmm.
had already finished university. In other words, I never bought a book, not because I didn't want to, but it was difficult for economic reasons. So I studied in copies or I studied in the library.
Hmm.
Now I want to find anything about Piaget. So what do? I just go to internet. I go to PDF Drive, Piaget, and I find millions, if not hundreds, of articles about him, books, complete books
Hmm.
about
Yeah.
him. Jean Piaget's uh, theory of cognitive development, Piaget education, Piaget for beginners, anything. I just type and I go to. This is one of 50 sites that give you free information,
Hmm. Yeah.
and it's just amazing that you can type anything on the internet now, and the knowledge is there. And
Yes.
what do you think of that? Mitch? Imagine anything you want to know is there at a fingerprints type. You just type it, and it's at a fingers type. It's almost scary, right? You want to, okay, let's say, well, there's some classified information. You don't know how to build an atomic bomb. Well, you don't know. Let me ask you how to build
Don't don't share
an
that,
atomic
teacher.
bomb.
Don't share that. Teacher,
Okay, I
the,
mean, yes,
there
Mitch.
is a don't share that, teacher. There is a theory, if you share that kind of things and you want to travel to United States, they attract your history in Google, like they could take you to
Oh,
the
really?
jail. Yes.
Okay, let's okay, how to make friends with the American government. Okay. They will.
Mm.
All right, so they will see this. Oh, he wants to be friends with the American government. Okay, that way they will grant my permission more easily, right? But okay, I got your point, Mitch. Thank you very much. And yeah, probably they will Google your search history, right? What you've been searching for the last 10 years. All right, makes sense. But honestly, it's much easier now to find any type of information in internet than it used to be 20, 25 years ago, 30 years ago. But the question, and it's, as usual, it's a difficult question. Are we better off now than we used to be before? And I would like to ask you to ask your parents, are we better off today than our parents or grandparents used to be before? I would say, well, I would ask you to ask this question to your relatives of previous generations. What do you think about this, Mitch, Mickey?
But in which terms, teacher? In
Yeah,
education?
that's a good question. We need to say in where, right? In where or in what? Where or
Hmm.
in what?
Mm.
That's a good question, yes, Mitch.
Well, I think in education, actually not, because I don't know, the government is so weird. They are changing too much the learning ways, at least in our country, that don't really show us the complete plan of studies, and we have to search it in internet to really know the complete subjects. Mm, in that case, yes, for the internet, just for that. I don't know if the other governments they respect all the plan studies, but at least in Mexico, they are decreasing the way of teaching.
What do you mean by that precisely, Mitch? I have an idea what you want to say, but would you want to be more specific, please?
Mm, okay. For example, that in the elementary school they can't. I forget how to say reprobar.
Flunk.
Flunk the year. They pass them with seats, even if they don't learn anything. I don't know why that happened. Also, they remove some subjects that the past generation have. Um, the subjects are not actually complete. They don't know some things because for example, I how to give a specific example. When we uh, were in third of primary, for example, we already know the tables. Well, the most of the students, but now some people really it difficult too much even plus numbers at that age. I don't know if, of course, the pandemic with the pandemic was even worse, but I don't know what the government do that.
Okay. I agree with you in the situation. I don't know if it's the government's responsibility or the family's responsibility or the school's responsibility because I wouldn't blame the government for absolutely everything. I wouldn't because private schools are private schools. You cannot say that the kids don't know how to add because of the government. I don't know if I understood you completely, Mitch. I know that our governments in the last 20, 30 years have had lots of issues. Not only this one, but the previous ones, in my experience, personal experience. You ask your family and your friends, and of course, other people. But what do you think about this, Mickey? Are we better off today than we were before? Are we the same? Maybe we need to ask with our parents or grandparents. What do you think?
Well, it's a hard question, and like everything, there are things in where we are better than before, and in other things, I think that we can improve. Um, I would say that in education, uh, I'm not completely sure, but I think that now there are more people uh, that could study in a school, probably not in a presential way, but now, like I said, there are different ways to do it. There are a lot of courses, there are a lot of books that you can use only with a computer or with a connection of internet. And Mitch said the example of the pandemic. I know that
Yes,
the pandemic was something that nobody was waiting.
yes.
So obviously there were countries that could manage in a better way the situation. But like everything, we learned and things of that now we can have like um, hybrid hybrid lessons or online lessons, and I would say that is good. Probably the level is not the best, but if someone wants to learn something, he or her gonna find a way to do it. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I totally agree. I like that. What do you think of Mickey's comments, Mitch?
Um,
Please.
could, could you repeat the last part?
Yes. What do you think of Mickey's comments? Uh, he mentioned that there have been challenges like the pandemic, and there has been a setback that nobody was expecting. However, some places managed the problem in a more efficient way, and some others didn't.
Mm.
Uh, all in all, Uh, Mickey, I think he said that we are better in some things and others still have challenges pending. What
Oh,
do you think
yes.
of that?
Oh, of course. Yeah, the pandemic was a challenge for everyone, and well, in this case, more than the lack of internet of some families or that, I realized that the teachers so many teachers need more capacitations to be actual teachers because they or just read a PowerPoint presentation or just give the pages as a book to without explaining so much the subject, and the students ending copied with each other, and they don't really understand the subject. I think it is smart part of the government and also for the schools to give a better capacitation of teaching to the teachers, I think.
Mm,
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, Mickey. Yes, Mickey, please.
yeah, I agree with Mitch, but probably I would say that it's not the fault, all the fault of the government,
No.
because, for example, we know that society is focused on other things, and for example, there are people who receive money monthly, and instead to, I don't know, invest on something or use the money for, not all the people, but I know that a big quantity of people uh, give a bad use of that money, and it's a support to the government. So I think that depending of the person, and like I said, if you want to learn something, it's not all the fault of the teacher. There's gonna be good teachers, regular teachers, bad teachers, but at the end, if you really want to learn something, you're gonna find a way to do it.
Yeah, I totally agree. I wish that we, as teachers, or the teachers, well, all of us can always get better training. And it's crucial in schools to be
Hmm.
successful, to have good teachers. Some schools have thrived, have succeeded dramatically, precisely because they are interested in getting good teachers. Some others just want to pay them little, and they say, I don't care as long as it's cheap. I don't care about education. Well, those schools don't succeed or don't last too long. Yes, Mitch, you were going to say something.
No. Uh, I was wondering when the class going to end because someone is waiting in the house, and I need to open the
Oh,
door.
well, no, it's time. Just time. Yeah, yeah. Okay, let's finish here, and then we meet probably Wednesday, Mickey, Mitch, in the afternoon.
Yes, teacher, it's okay. Can we confirm the hour
All
in
right.
uh, tomorrow in the afternoon?
Absolutely. Yes, please. Okay.
Because today I go to, well, tonight I go
Hmm.
to Vallarta. So
Wow. Okay. Good luck. Enjoy, Mickey.
thank you very
Take
much.
care.
I'm a little bit
And be
nervous
careful
because,
also.
yeah, I'm a little bit nervous because I'm gonna go in at bus, and it's around 9 hours
Okay.
of journey. So let's see what happens.
Well, just take care of yourself. Safe. Take care of yourself. Follow your gut feelings, and you'll be okay. You'll be okay. So
Thank you,
take care of
teacher.
yourselves. We'll
Yes,
see
teacher.
you. We confirm the session tomorrow. Then enjoy.
Perfect.
Mitch, take care. Mickey, have a
Bye,
Thank
teacher.
you very
wonderful
Thank
much,
you.
day,
teacher. You too.
guys.
Take care.
Take care. See you tomorrow. No,
Bye.
no, see you on Wednesday.
See you tomorrow. I mean, we talk tomorrow. See, we talk tomorrow.
Yes, teacher.
Take care. Bye bye.
Bye.
See you. Bye.
See you. Bye.